Hi, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you've watched the 15-minute intro to this Bible Business Facts, thank you all so much. I'm going to let you know, however, that I have already pre-posted and pre-filmed the Bible scripture and posted it to the YouTube platform of Let's Break Bread with Jennifer Lopez, which is Job 5 verse 10. So if after this or before this you want to go and watch Job 5 verse 10, that's on that platform of Let's Break Bread with Jennifer Lopez. You can go and watch that there. However, this is the business topic to that of Job 5 verse 10, and how to adapt your faith into business and not let your faith be the topic of the matter in the first 5 years of a beginning business venture. So, IPO reinstatement. IPO reinstatement. First of all, what is an IPO? In order to understand what an IPO is, once again, you can go to the platform Sierra Challenger Business and you will be able to get all the info on what an IPO is. This is just a continuation of that platform, IPO reinstatement. If you want that information, go to the Sierra Challenger Business YouTube platform, and I have given you all that information over there. Okay? So this is an IPO reinstatement. It means, what does it mean? It means that business has grown and has expanded to be at an IPO watch investment, meaning that basically what you're doing is you're telling them what you want done and they pay the money to get it done. That's what that means. You're telling them what you want done and they pay the money to get it done, and the consumers pretty much pay the bill, basically, with them purchasing and investing in funding. The consumer then becomes the bill payee, which is what allows for stores to have target margins, such as for customers when the bill has been paid properly, 15% off, 75% off, this type of that, based off of what the conduct of the bill payment was. Once the consumer's funding pays that bill, they are allotted to receive anywhere between 15% all the way up to 75% off a target margin, which is what brings in what's called target margin sales. So it doesn't mean that the store is going out of business. No, it just means that the store has received the target margin, paid the bill because of the consumers, and the consumers now get a deal out of that target margin sale, which is what gives us the Sephora sale event, which is what gives us in Canada the Shoppers Drug Mart Mall Walk Crawl sales event, where you can get anything up from $2.99 all the way up to $8.99, depending on what the platform investor has been able to offer. So that is that, and you are at the demand of an IPO ambassador. You have a social media platform in which there you can now present on social media exactly what you've been talking about in the physical flesh, such as my platform haul channel, which is on everyday living. Everything that I purchase you can see on everyday living. That's where that becomes a physical view to every single topic and what this message has been in regards to. So when you see me purchase the products and I show you either at the end of the month or currently at the 5th of the month, guess what? It's every single topic that I've spoken about, including the reports, based off of the size of the product and the type of product. And that basically usually means that there has been a response. If I have the product in my hand, there has been a response to the request made, the questions asked, the facts given. There has been a physical response that has been made. You now post when the IPO investor wants you to post. You're no longer posting at this is when I'm an available time. You're posting at an investor's schedule until the investor tells you that you've gained more investment in funding, which is what brings us what's called a sponsored video. A sponsored video gives you investment funding, which means you have to post at the time the investor wants you to post the video. And if the investor wants you to make it a private video for the company, they'll tell you to make it a private video for the company. If they want you to make it a public viewed video for the public to see, they'll tell you that, because they are having you advertise the product as an IPO investor because of the views that you get when the public watches your platform. Building customers and products, which means you have more than one view. To persons who think that I only have one view, you have more than one view, which means you become the seller, and then the mainstream purchases what you speak of, and you're put on a tight rein as to how many items you can purchase due to the topic of the conversation as to what you can purchase in request of the IPO investor. Which means, yes, does the IPO investor have to give you funding to do this? Nothing's free. Nothing's free in this world. So the IPO investor has to give you money in order to be able to pay down on what they want you to sell to the crowd, so that the crowd can go out and purchase either the exact same thing or something similar. When something has been asked for, it has been provided for you. Haul videos, everyday living. That's proof that the provision has been made. And the request has been met with the requirement asked for. If there's a complaint, you have a platform such as YouTube in order to report a complaint to the company, either in regards to the product or in regards to resolutions not being met. But always remember that before you make that public report could either boost you or that report could break you. So know what you're doing before you make the report, and make sure that when you make the report that you're not the only one that's been making the report. You're either the final person that's made the report, or you've made the report after a few others have complained and there has been no resolution in the matter of the person or the product being fixed. So make sure before you make the complaint that you are not just jumping on the complaint wagon to be the first one out there. Make sure there are others out there who are telling the same story, the same fact, the same truth, so that the information doesn't affect you when they contact you as a lawyer in order to get the job done. More professional editing. What does that mean? What you see from me is edited into several different platforms. So the way I look now, well, I might not look like that on Monday morning at 9 a.m. when you're watching a live video report. I might not look like that. So when I post this today, you're not going to see it right away, even though it says public, because what's happening is, once again, my editors have blocked it. It's public for my editors to see only, so that they can then edit it, because I laugh at them editing my teeth. It makes it fun for me to laugh at them editing my teeth, because it gives me money. It gives me money, and I get to laugh at them editing my teeth, because I can hear and I can sense it. So you get to use the same equipment as your editor to get the same task done. However, you have to edit as though you've used more professional equipment to accomplish that one and several other tasks with just one positioning. So it's kind of like having a job as a cashier. You can either make the coffee and serve the coffee, or you can just stand there at the cash register and take the money. Which one you want? Because if you make the coffee, you get more improvements and advancements. But if you take the cash and make the coffee, you get double the improvements and double the advancements. But if you just make the coffee, well, what's the situation? Why are you just making the coffee? Or what's the situation? Why are you planning on stealing while you're just taking the cash? Or are you planning on throwing a hot coffee in a customer's face while you're just making the coffee type of situation? Didn't mean to bring that up in there, but that's just what made sense. Use the equipment that you've been given in order to deter you or to advance you into something better. You've made more money than you can hold on to, and you need to sell off assets in order to be able to be equal with the financial sector again. Sometimes when you have way too much money, it can become very tricky to balance your spending habit. It can become very tricky to get the right investor. It can become very tricky to get the right assignment when you have way too much money, because it means that you have run out of room to store that money that you're about to make, that could potentially catapult you to another level. So sometimes what I do giveaways with the extra coins that I have, but you all know where to go in order to capture that giveaway. The giveaway is not from my house. I just mention it from my house, and y'all make your way to that address in order to get that giveaway that I mentioned, right? So that's a part of me releasing some of the cash flow that I've earned in order to make sure that I can continue to earn in order to purchase products, so that I can give away products in the physical essence to those that would prefer the physical product to that of the cash itself. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.